Hello everyone, this is attorney Ebony Anuforo with the Anuforo Law Firm. I wanted to jump on here and talk about a very important immigration update that could affect many people with pending VAWA, U visa, and T visa applications. So a federal court recently stepped in and temporarily blocked ICE from detaining and deporting certain immigrant survivors while their immigration cases are still pending. Now, why is this important? Because over the last several months, there has been growing concern that individuals who are victims of domestic violence, human trafficking, and other serious crimes could be arrested, detained, or even removed from the United States before USCIS had an opportunity to fully decide their cases. Think about that for a second. Imagine escaping an abusive relationship. Imagine being a victim of trafficking. And then imagine that you cooperated with law enforcement to help investigate a crime. And then imagine being placed in removal proceedings or detained before your case even, had the opportunity to be decided. That is exactly what many immigrant advocacy organizations argued that was happening, okay? And we've been seeing this happening over the past few months. As a result, a lawsuit was filed against the federal government, and now a federal judge has issued an order providing temporary protection while that lawsuit moves forward. Now, this does not mean that everyone automatically wins their immigration case. It does not mean that everyone receives a green card. And it certainly does not mean that immigration enforcement has stopped. But it does mean that the court recognized that there are serious legal concerns about these policies and decided that protection should remain in place while the case is being litigated. So while they're still arguing the case in court. And honestly, this is a big deal, okay? One of the reasons Congress created VAWA, the U visa, and T visas was to encourage victims to come forward, right? That idea is pretty simple. If you are being abused by a U.S. citizen spouse, you should be able to seek help, right? If you are victims or a victim of a serious crime, you should be able to cooperate or feel comfortable with cooperating with law enforcement. And if you're a victim of human trafficking, then you should be able to seek protection. I mean, this makes sense. This is like common sense. Congress did not want people to remain silent because they were afraid of deportation. That was the whole purpose of the law. If victims are afraid to report crimes, that creates problems not just for immigrants, but for public safety as a whole. Now, if you currently have a pending VAWA case, a pending U visa case, or a pending T visa case, you're probably asking or wondering, what should you do? Well, first, I want you to continue to pursue your case. Don't let the things that you're hearing on the news stop you from pursuing a case for yourself, right? If you qualify. Second, make sure that your address is constantly updated with USCIS, with the immigration court, if you're in the system, right? If you have a pending case before the court. Third, you want to continue to check your mail if you have pending cases, right? And monitor your case status. That's very important. And fourth, if you have concerns about detention, removal proceedings, or your immigration history, speak with an experienced immigration attorney about your specific situation. Because I'm going to tell you, every case is different. Even if you have someone who has a VAWA case, it's different from yours. And I also want to remind people that, this case is not over, right? This is not a final decision. The government could definitely appeal, and they probably will. The litigation will continue. And, we'll likely see additional developments in the next months or the next few months coming forward, okay? But for now, this is certainly a positive development for many immigrant survivors who are seeking protections under VAWA, U visa, and the T visa programs, okay? So as always, I will continue to monitor this case, and I will continue to provide updates as new information becomes available. Again, my name is attorney Ebony Anuforo with the Anuforo Law Firm. And if you found that this information was helpful, be sure to follow, right? And share this video with someone who may benefit from it, someone who may need to hear this information. And if you have any questions about your immigration case, you can feel free to contact our office to schedule a consultation with me, and we can talk about your personal matter in detail and come up with a legal strategy that's best for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.